Well, welcome back. Once again, my name is Brian Evans. I'm joined here by Doug Hart. This is the third video in a three-part series. If you haven't watched the first two, please go back and check those out. I have enjoyed our conversation thus far, Mr. Hart. Why don't you give us a quick summary of the first two videos?
Number one, we talked about customer experience because that's the center of your organization.
Which is totally the same as customer service, right? It's the same thing? Totally not. Go watch the video.
Yeah, it's customer experience management being a leadership discipline, right? And then once from there, you need to strategize. So we got into strategic thinking. And we talked quite a while on strategic thinking. This is actually kind of almost part two of our strategic thinking course.
Okay, so this is part two of video two.
Essentially, yeah.
Right, okay,
yeah.
All right. Now, this specifically is called 3 Pillars of Strategic Success.
Yeah.
What are the 3 pillars?
Well, they're not new. Efficiency, so doing things right. So quality control, low variation, make sure your processes are in order. Effectiveness, which is making the right thing. So doing things right is one thing, but you got to make sure it's the right thing. The customers want it. Right. And then adaptability is, well, we used to build the right thing. The world changed. Now the customer wants this. How quickly can you get to the new place in business and then become efficient again?
Right. Why don't you give us an example of that?
Well, I always joke, the 3.5-inch floppy disk. Guy your age, ever seen one?
I did have those when I was a kid, yes. I do remember those.
I remember them as an adult. That's the difference. 3.5-inch floppy disk. We could put a team together and say, your mission, engineering team, is to create a new process for building 3.5-inch floppy disks that results in it being the lowest cost, highest quality solution.
That would be very, very efficient.
That team, if they could pull that off, they would have major efficiencies. But me as a leader getting them to do that, I'm a very ineffective leader because no one wants them.
Nobody's going to buy those, right?
So
no matter how efficient you are at making them,
you can be totally efficient,
right?
And that team could really work their guts out to be efficient, but we're wasting their time because it's not valuable.
Right.
So effectiveness is, are we doing the right things? Efficiency, are we doing things right?
And that's where adaptability comes in making sure that we're doing things effectively and we're actually doing the right things.
Adaptability is the ability of the organization to go, okay, that used to be valuable. The world's changed, or the world is about to change. That's the good organizations see it first, right?
Yeah, that's true.
And then make this, their leadership says, okay, we are here, we need to go to here. So they go here. Yeah. That's the ability to adapt. And then when you get back to, we get to the new place, and you're building the new product, you're doing, if you take this storage thing, 3.5-inch floppy disk gave way to memory sticks, USB sticks, right? That's a completely different product.
Right.
So we go from here to there, and now we become efficient at build
our efficiency at that point.
That's right.
That makes sense.
Okay, so those 3 pillars have always been in place. So the ability to make change.
And that often has to come very quickly sometimes. I mean, our world has changed very fast. We talked about the fly in the soup in one of the previous videos. Why don't you tell us more about that?
Well, we say the world's changing, and we say it's how fast it is. What we want to look at is, in complex adaptive systems, how fast is the feedback loop? Okay. And if we go back to the fly in the soup, you've got your soup, got a fly in it. 20 years ago, whatever it was, your only way to complain, the feedback, would be to call up the local paper, put a thing in there, and a week later the paper comes out. People can read there was a fly in your soup at Joe's restaurant, and the feedback loop's very slow, and there's not many people.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
This is actually a profound example. You think about it, because 10 years later, you could do the same thing on a web page, and it's pretty quick. But then today, with social media, it's instant. Right. Now, that's actually a very small picture I've given you, but it's instant, right? It's instant feedback. Now think about this. Your average smartphone, it's about $1.25 worth of materials.
That's it.
That's it. Just material out of the ground. Last study I saw, it's about $1.25. Okay. But now a supply chain. Now supply chain is a little supplier here who supplies this company. That's their customer, right?
Right.
And then they build this and they build that, and all of a sudden we've got a phone.
Right.
It's actually quite an amazing feat to take material to the ground and turn it into a smartphone. Sometimes we don't think about that, but it's amazing. But all along the way, there's customers there in the supply chain, and every one of those customers can instantly feedback to. So we get this instant feedback, people talking, and then now that's the kind of the bigger story. But there's a whole lot of things contributing to this. I'll give you some bizarre stuff. 10 years ago, the middle class globally was 1.9 billion people. What do you think it is today, 10 years later? It's 3.2 billion.
That is a massive increase in a short period of time.
And that ties into this story because that middle class, they're sending their kids to university, they're getting educated, they're getting into the knowledge economy. And the same thing, that same number, 3.2 billion, that's the same number of people that are now online.
I'm sure there's no coincidence there,
It's directly related. So that brings us to connectedness and the number. Think about it, you've got an idea, and because you're talking to someone on the other side of the world, and you start to chat, and then you guys find a financier, and that used to be impossible to do. Now you can do it through Google Instant. And then you think about 3D CAD. We can build something on the computer. I don't need a real expensive computer. And I'm talking less than 10 grand. I do CAD stuff. And then 3D printing. Now I can print off stuff and we can massive, rapid iteration. But you can do it all along the supply chain with instant feedback, and we wonder why the world is so complex, right? That allows things to come to market fast, disruption to occur like we see never in the past. We've never had an era like this, okay? And if you take all of this, you go, okay, all of a sudden, that third pillar of adaptability, it's crucial, because if we take a look at efficiency, effectiveness, and adaptability, there's something really important that separates the two. Efficiency, Brian, can be measured.
That's true. That's true.
Black and white measurement. So, whereas effectiveness, much more abstract.
That's right.
So we who are we going to promote? The people that we can measure their performance. So the efficiency people often get promoted. And you've heard of efficiency experts.
I've never heard of an effectiveness expert though.
No, or an adaptability expert. Those creative, abstract thinkers, which are more in that line, they're not necessarily getting a promotion, right? So we end up filling organizations a little lopsided on the efficiency side. And the scary thing is we can be efficient. And how do we be efficient? Through reductionistic management. We separate into silos, specialization, everyone's got their job. And what that actually does is because you're in one silo, I'm in another, where innovation occurs is the gray space in between. And what I'm trying to tell you is that ability to be efficient can actually work against your ability to be adaptable. See? So we need organizations that can somehow be adaptable and efficient,
and also
but they're almost in conflict. How do we do that?
That's a good question.
I think it's a question worth asking.
I don't know how we would do that, but I do know that because this is a cheesy infomercial for this course, we've got a freebie, and everybody loves free things. So Doug, tell us about our freebie. How do we make our organizations more adaptable? Okay, so this is not the answer, it's just one of the answers. Okay. One of the things you need to do as an organization is to understand the difference between leaders and managers. Okay. What are the leaders doing? The leaders should be taking us to that new place, having vision in the abstract, okay? And as they take us from the 3.5-inch floppy disk to now let's build USB memory sticks, that's the future. As we go from here to there, then now our managers now start to work to make this business system efficient at producing memory sticks. So leaders are the ones that are kind of taking through change, whereas managers are sort of the stabilizers once they get to that place. So there should be no ambiguity between what is a leader and what is a manager. The organizations that do separate the concept but integrate the process are they going to be the winners. So again, we make sure we understand that yes, leaders do manage. Absolutely, and managers do lead. Right, but there's a difference in emphasis. Absolutely. Right, and we make sure there's no ambiguity there. And then
we have to have some real honor that they understand they both need each other. And the organizations that can really have the leaders and the managers working together are the ones that are going to be able to have those two big things, efficiency and adaptability. And I think you get effectiveness kind of thrown in as a result.
That makes sense. Okay, so the first course we talked about customer experience management course. Second video we talked about the strategic thinking course. This is number 3. This is 3 pillars of success. Tell us about this course.
This course is actually part of the strategy course.
Okay, so this is part of the second
video. So there is no fee for this course. It's actually included in our strategic thinking course. I just thought it was such a profound discussion on its own that I wanted to make sure we highlighted it, because I think it's, especially at the little freebie part, the concept of leaders versus managers, that's worth its weight in gold.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, well, that's the end of our 3rd video. Obviously, thank you so much for watching.
It's been fun, actually.
Yeah, it's definitely been a lot of fun. Once again, after this, we're going to show on screen the kind of the key points of this video, as well as contact information for us. If you've been watching to this point at the end of the 3rd video, obviously, you're fairly interested in this content, and we would love to have a conversation with you.
Tell you what we'll do differently.
Okay.
If they got to the 3rd one, I assume these are the keeners, most likely to do business with us. So we will put my email address on this 3rd video.
Please don't spam him.
Yeah, don't spam me, please. But it'll be there. Contact us. We've left, I think, nothing, no mysteries here. We've got our fee rates, you know what the content is. I think you get a pretty good idea of what we do.
Yeah, absolutely. Reach out to us. We'd love to do business with you. We'd love to make it as easy as possible for you to do business with us. So once again, thanks for watching. We'll hope to talk to you soon.
Thanks.